a good man is not necessarily a harmless man. A good man is a man that can do harm and decides not to. So I think that that's one of the basic tenets of masculinity, is the capability to be violent. And I made a career out of being violent, and I decide not to be violent, but that doesn't mean I can't be violent.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying, and I don't know how. I expect you are as far down the rabbit hole as I am, and you probably share my suspicions that really what's happening now is the culmination of decades, if not centuries, of planning, and one of those things would be the emasculation of our culture, discouraging men from being men, discouraging men from having sexual relationships with women. Anything that's going to kind of strengthen and further the human race has been worked against by the powers that be.
When men get angry, that's how revolutions start. Like, you can call me as sexist as you want, but screaming females don't cause revolutions. It's screaming men who cause revolutions. And when people say that's not true, women go marching, yeah, women go marching, but without men beside them at the barriers, without men in police uniforms to protect them, no one's going to care about them or their ideas, and none of their ideas are going to be enforced, right? It's only men getting angry in large groups that governments are afraid of, because we are the ones who are combative. So if they can reduce our appetite for combat or our appetite for conflict, then that makes it a lot easier for them to inflict anything they decide to inflict upon us. It's like the days of old, right? The invading army would come in and kill all the military-age males, or all the boys which will soon grow to fighting age. And they did that on purpose so that they could do whatever they wanted with the society. Yeah. And now they're trying to do the same thing, but they're just mentally castrating men to the point where they are upset with the life they're in, and they're depressed, and they're confused, and they're too busy chasing their own tail, trying to pay the rent, to wake up and look around them and understand how badly they're being screwed. And that's what they're deliberately doing. And they're trying to kill the masculine spirit, because they need the masculine spirit gone to inflict their tyranny.
Yeah.
I know I sound like an optimistic guy right now, don't I? I sound like Mr. Happy, but no, it's truth. It's true, really what's happening.
Andrew, I wish I could disagree with you. I'm afraid to say I'm in a black pit of despair. I try and remain cheerful, because I think that black humor and optimism and a sense of kind of we shall overcome is really important in any war. But I think things are really, really dire right now. I mean, tell me what you think's happening, and where do you think things are going?
I think that the people who are in charge of the world are not motivated by what most people think they're motivated by. I've had a lot of people who are semi-awake come to me and say, yeah, COVID, all this stuff, it's all about money, it's all about profit. And I sit there and say, okay, but I would actually feel a lot more comfortable with the world if it was as simple as money and profit. I think it's far more sinister than that. And I think it's truly about brutal power. And I'll say this because if you've had money long enough and you've truly had true money, it does get boring quickly. And I'll give you an example from a personal perspective. I grew up in a council estate in Luton. Now I'm a multimillionaire. Yeah, I love nice cars and et cetera, but you can only eat so many steaks and go to so many nice hotels. What most people who are searching for money are looking for is power. And if you're born into money, if you've had money since the day you were born, if you've never known poverty, if you've never been denied anything, a Ferrari is not going to make you happy. A nice meal is not going to make you happy. You've always had these things. The one thing that's going to make you happy is power. I don't think most people understand how humans are evolutionarily designed to want power. We're wired to want power. Men say, I want to be rich. You don't want to be rich. You want to be powerful. You want to be important. You want to be respected. This is the reason why men work their asses off in middle management jobs, underpaid, barely seeing their families, because at least when they're at work, they're respected. Men want respect. Men want power. And the people who are in charge of the world want more and more power. They don't care about profit. They don't care about money. They print the money.